Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most benevolent, the most merciful. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. All praise due to the Lord of the worlds. Rabbi Firli. May God forgive me. May God forgive us for all the mistakes that we're conscious of and unconscious of. A'udhu Billah Shaitan Rajim. May God protect us from the cursed one and ignorance. Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. May God guide us to the direct path. Okay, hello everyone. I know that you all have your busy lives. I thank you for creating some time to listen to another human being. Just 1 second. I'm adjusting something, folks. Just hang in there. Okay. So, because you have given your attention to this moment, I want to honor your attention, okay, to this lecture. The way I am honoring it is, in some sense, trying to share what deep down in my heart I feel is the most important, some of the most important things to acknowledge. I'm not telling you to go and become somebody. I'm saying that I'm a human being just like you in this system, and I've made observations. And in this evening, we've gathered around. All of us were not in the same physical room. However, we're not all in the same room, but we are in the same moment of mind. We're in the same mind room, technically. Okay? Because this is being live streamed. That means as I'm existing now, so are you. Both of our attention is to the content here. Now, I've made, I think sometimes I ask good questions. And today it was a moment of wonder for me that I was like, is talking about the world like a way of living beyond it? And the initial, like instantly my intellect was like, Yeah, podcasting it is. So I may like this is kind of like a cool thing about, I guess, sharing content online, is that that content may outlive you. May God knows what will happen. The system admin knows the value of our work. Really, we just move in the faith that we're in the presence of something more important than ourselves. You see, I think about what can the human being do on Earth. I think about if the human being was a technology, like what does this technology give access to? You see, they kind of fooled us when we were young in making us think that knowledge is a transaction. That if you learn a certain information, you have learned everything about that. But what the educational system failed to share, because if it did, it would not be necessary, is that in a changing world, you're not just living a life. It's like, yeah, man, I'm living a life, like there's that attitude. But then there's like, okay, I am living a life, but what kind of human life am I living? Like when I think about like history, how many different kinds of human beings have like lived on this earth? And when I think about the future, how many human beings are going to live in the future? And when I look at now, like how many human beings are alive, it just astonishes me that every group that I have extracted a sort of emotion from has been nothing compared to the immensity of the valid observation that there will be many human eyes have seen this place we're in, right? Like this might sound bizarre, but this is like a chair that many people have sat on before us, before we were even born. Just this ability to be aware as a human on earth. Now, the next question is, how deeply does this awareness to our world go? Okay, and what is the value really in someone talking about it? You see, people have different kinds of power in this world. Okay, just like how some people were like, yo man, look at magic, it's so cool. There's fire magic, wind magic, water magic. And then, like to me, that stuff is like ignorance and haram, right? And the reason it is because magic is an inferior technology compared to being aware of the highest technology. That means to me, somebody who has a spiritual connection with the other world has not understood the value of having a direct connection with the creator of the world. You understand? That's something else. And believe it or not, regardless of who agrees or disagrees with you as a being, you on this life have a moment where you're alone with everything else. That means not only human beings are listening to what I'm saying right now and watching this moment, right? But the system admin is watching it, and even let's say there's mods watching it. By mods, I mean angels, any cultural program that has acknowledged a sort of notion of a deity, right? Even, for example, like prophets fall somewhat into that category. They came to moderate the human species. However, when I say moderator, I'm saying that you find yourself in a world of like beasts. Imagine you just opened, like, okay, I shouldn't say that. Imagine the movie, like go and find the movie called The One. I believe it was made by like Jet Li's in it in his prime. And at the end, the bad parallel self version of the guy, okay, I honestly think that was Jason's best movie, you know? I'm old school. But anyways, at the end of that film, like the evil like version of himself, gets banished to a world where he just walks up a pedestal and everybody starts attacking him. Okay? And the movie ends as it zooms out, like the best ending ever. Like, just show us a messed up scene and just end the show. So, anyways, what I'm saying, and again, I appreciate anybody's attention who's here. I'm trying to make it worth your time, but really, I'm trying to observe the role of language and what we as like how advanced can the communication of this being that we are, in some sense, how advanced can it get? And God bless the notification on my phone that just said I have 15% battery life. Hold on, guys. To dive into it again, my attention really, when it comes to talking, is that human beings are creatures of expression simply because there is a distance between them. Right now, like if you were standing a meter away from me, do you know, or however distance, it's like the communication would become more difficult. So we're human beings, like people say, like we're tribal beings. I mean, sure, because we can talk, right? They're like, why did human beings, let's study why did human beings, why in anthropology, why did human beings, join into tribes? I'm like, because they were bored and they're like, what's up? And now they're version of my species. Okay, do you know what I mean? So talking is a way where if there's a technology like cyberspace that extends more beyond like your lifespan, then it's like a way of kind of living beyond like the world you're in now. You know what's strange? Many people think about this idea of like going beyond the world. Whoa, cool, but then there's this view of what right now, what if you are beyond the worlds of the past? Like, I don't want to act egotistical, and people can be like, oh my God, this guy's historically being ignorant. Sorry, not ignorant. Oh, this guy's historically being egotistical, by feeling superior to everybody who had lived before him. The human ego is hilarious. Like, the reason there's humor is because it's so imperfect. That means if you have expectations of crush your own spirit, everyone. Do you know what I'm saying? All right, guys, let me see if I change this elevator music. And again, I understand that everybody's busy in this life. You have an endless to-do list to follow till the day you die, like many of us, right? But in this moment, you see, I'm constantly trying to build up, eventually get to a point of liftoff, okay? We are looking at the value of communicating to the world about the world. We are looking at an organism that has in some sense astonished itself. The humans in 2025 have a hunger any generation before them will never understand. We are, I think it was Andy Warhol, he had this quote where he's like, when you go to the edge of something, you get to see something that you could have never seen if you hadn't gone to the edge. Now, what does this mean? This doesn't mean the edge of the external reality. It means the edge of the value that is moving your being. Do you understand? And when you realize what's moving in the moment is beyond you, you realize, okay, Mr. Within is telling the species, everybody gear up, or become alert, And right now the species has to begin in some sense administering its, not administering, it has to begin managing itself in accordance to the updated information. And the updated information is like, yo, your whole species is here, yo, your world is here, yo, all the probabilities of your species in the future are here, yo, a god's higher power is here, the system admin is here. Do you understand? And so now we are honestly at a point in human civilization where I will say it's the boredom, the great eruption of global boredom. Human beings know deep down, after seeing one sci-fi movie, how much further things can go. And that urge will never go away, and it is the calling of the species to, in some sense, go as far as it can, whether it's a fictional super sand shouting at the edge of its limit, or whether it's a species in the void assembling towards the greatest honor. Do you understand? It's as if right now it is no longer an era of war. Like, you know, anybody who talks about war or fears war right now, I'll be like, we have bigger problems. And people are going to be like, Mr. Within, what do you mean bigger problems than World War III? And I'll tell you, way bigger problems. Because even if whatever happened after World War III, Einstein thought it's going to be it's going to be fought with sticks and stones. World War IV. But I'm telling you, whatever happens in this reality, it is not just the relationship of man with his existence, but man with the true presence of his existence. Do you understand? That means what is more important is that if you think that life is only a physical game, you will have fears that may paralyze you from seeing it any other way. O member of humanity, O active agent of a human in 2025, an ambassador of our species. Like right now, technically everybody is an ambassador of the species, because if any one of us was teleported to an intergalactic council, it would be like, okay, that dude's that person's representing everybody, you know? You see, it's kind of like, imagine right now you're choosing to become the greatest warrior. Let's just play along with me here. Guys, when I'm riffing, I'm exploring the inner realms. Anyways. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. All praise due to the Lord of the worlds. The presence of reality has a central authority. That is way more important. Your relationship with the central authority to reality, compared to you just fearing what will happen in the world. That means to a being that doesn't know it's simulated, the world means everything. To a being that knows it's simulated, the world means nothing. For in some sense, we are on a stepping stone. We are legit, like I've been in some sense assembled here as whatever kind of human beings and DNA we have to consciously advance civilization. And in some sense, when the future generations open their eyes and wonder how they got there, they will in some sense be fascinated how humanity in a span of 100 years advanced civilization as if it was like 10,000, like a million years. Do you understand? The idea is organization and the respecting of space where life originates. Do you understand? That means if somebody was like Mr. Within, speak to humans in 2025, I can. And if somebody was like Mr. Within, speak to humans in the year, let's say 5025, I could. But what I'm saying is that in the comfort of our safest moments, one cannot protect themselves from the eerie feeling of the greater responsibility and role of the species in the presence of the higher power. That means it's as if you are a creation of the greatest, And therefore, if you're in a simulated testing zone being reviewed, then mankind must, in some sense, present his greatest performance in front of the system admin. Now, the question is, how does man do this? Man has to realize there's a robotic way of doing it. Do you understand? And then there's a way of it where you kind of no longer get spooked in life because the higher power is here. Do you understand? That means they're like, do you believe in a soul? The person's like, I don't know what to tell you. And then they're like, do you believe in God? And the person said, it's like you're asking me, do I believe in the center of being? It's the relationship of our species with a higher power. It's no longer about like, yo man, look at my spiritual experiences. It's about the spiritual experience of your species. What does that mean? That means every human being on this planet, whatever they're doing, wherever they are, they all for one moment, in one instant, wake up to this like realization that there is a might hiding in the ability of the, like, if humans had an ability, pretty much I'm saying that my mind can see chaos, yes, but my mind can also see the most advanced. And when I say it can, it doesn't mean I can see God. It means I have reached this value system where reality is not just it does not just have a value to me. So my whole life I self-obsess and live in my own simulation, not realizing that in some sense what it means to, in some sense, go to heaven is in some sense you have to wonder how real Earth is. It's intense. So in some sense, my task as a human being is being like, yo, if I'm a bee and you guys are all bees, where is the beehive? Why is the beehive underdeveloped, right? Bees in some sense every day go to work building their beehive, and human beings every day should be researching their reality and advancing all systems known to man. That means having an ability to preserve the past, having an ability to assist the present, serve the present, and having an ability to honor the future. Because right now I'm in a cool vibe. Let me explain. Historically speaking, I'm standing on that majestic hill where in 2025 I can feel the future generations. I can imagine them. Do you understand? My mind can see how an advanced civilization would look like. But right now we're in civilization 1.0. That means behind our eyes, the world is more advanced than in front of it. Imagine the day when it's the other way around. And it's all being guided by the system admin. Do you understand what being religious means? Being religious means that it's like your whole memory, all your memories, readjust with the realization that you have been in the presence of that which is beyond the world. To me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not wearing a suit, but I feel I should be. In the presence of greatness, man cannot have any other definition of greatness. Do you understand? It's as if they're like, yo, is that guy wise? No. He just realized his ego, his assumptions on everything were not as mighty as the presence of that which administers everything. It is beyond man. So I'm not here being like, yo man, we're the most advanced, yo, squirrels can't type, Like they can't type consciously. They could, like a squirrel can walk on a keyboard. It is the value of humanity. Every day I am haunted by this. I am haunted by the advanced potential of a species that has not been activated yet. That means it's as if they told someone, what kind of life do you want to live? And the person said a peaceful life. And the person was like, why? And the answer stopped. And in that silence, the species understood that our role is that we are the most advanced intelligence system stationed on Earth. Somebody in the chat section says the question is the answer is the question. First of all, I commend you for having an ability to see the symmetry in language. Yes, linguistically you're correct, and you pretty much have understood the formula of seeing things from both sides. However, that also nullifies a singular truth. You got to be careful, because let me tell you what it is. Imagine human being is like a bird, and this bird has to in every moment like land on a specific branch, to be landed on a branch. Let me say it this way. You're a being, you have perception. Your perception gives you content, and the viewer within organizes it. But the viewer within is a mystery, and it should be a mystery. That means if somebody, like before when I was younger, I was like, yo man, I gotta go to find the secrets of the soul. And then I realized in the like years later, I was like, yo man, the Holy Quran was so ahead of its time, right? That it had the answer. The soul is the secret of God. What that means is the max abstract expressionism of your soul is infinitude. And then after infinitude, it's hollow. Do you understand? Seeking for intellectual treasure leads to the hollowness of realizing all knowledge comes back to the mystery of being. And really, as human beings, it's kind of like, yo man, do we act like we know this place, or do we act like everything's mysterious? To me it is, because everything can be viewed in so many ways. Listen to me, folks. We're creatures that can talk. What is communication? Communication is the conveyance of symbolism that in some sense is pointing to imagery that can be collectively accessed. We're building the realities that we can agree upon. And what does it mean when they say like beings agree on something? It means they're all in the same room for a moment. This world is a test of how much you can notice the advanced position of intelligence. That means, let's say if one of the wonders of the world is to go and see like the pyramids of Egypt, let's say one of the wonders of the inner world is to wonder about the original. So when we talk as human beings, we're simulated beings trying to see if we can notice the original. Anyways. We come and go, and we hope that what we did mattered. To the past, I salute you. You did well. To the present, you act like you need no commander, but I hope you find the true commander of this world. And to the future generations, giggle as much as you want to all that we could not see. But do not forget your ancestors. Gifted you the worlds you laugh in now. You know, a part of me is like, humanity, assemble. You know, and every conscious being in reality suddenly realizes the advanced ideal. That we can wonder about the most advanced. That's one of the wonders of the inner world. Certain topics have been opened by the title alone. One, okay. So guys, I apologize. My phone wasn't actually charging. So it's 6% now, and I'm 100% sure it's charging. I guess, you know, we needed a break. All right, to continue. We were looking at the significance of communication in human life and how is us communicating a way of living beyond ourselves. Like prior to the internet, like stories lived on. You know, they come up to kids when they're young and they're like, why do you watch so much TV? Like they come up to some people and say that, why do you watch so much TV? You know, and it's as if little do they realize that our species would just talk to each other. They would share stories. And really what it is back in the day they hunted for buffalo, now we hunt for new views on reality. Is talking about the world a way of living beyond it? Yes. If it is recorded. So there's that. Now, moving on beyond the lecture to the importance of the human position, and just to in some sense be like, okay, let's say whatever life I've lived, that's me. And for a second, I'm going to consider just from a neutral perspective of mind, let's just look at just an example, just a hypothetical, we imagine kind of example of, okay, how will a human being be born in the future, and in its upbringing, an introduction to reality, how will it honor its reality? Do you understand? And with what depth and emotional intensity? I'm not talking about 100 years in the future. I'm saying up to the 100 years I'm just talking about. How can you not be fascinated by everything that's here? And we're like, okay, let's consider a world. Everything is here. We are here as well. We have a limited range of awareness to how everything is here. Yet emotionally, we feel present with our species in the presence of the world, and how the world is in the presence of the system admin. You see, the journey of humanity is one that if we choose to truly become advanced, it means we must advance in all dimensions. It means all dimensions, every moment you have thought had a future. That means in anything, like any moment in your life, you could go into, you consider that moment, and then also consider that moment could have had that kind of future, this kind of future. You see, the point is, how are we going to manage this as a species? And let's say in the future, the species has to acknowledge giant robots. I'm saying, okay, in 2025, it has to acknowledge the system admin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most benevolent, the most merciful. Ihdina sirat al-Mustaqim. May God guide us to the direct path. In this moment, I consider my perception in reality to be composed of a series of acknowledgements. I do acknowledge that the human being is a system. I do acknowledge that this system has limitation. I do acknowledge this system has that which is beyond expectation, which is an awareness to how it's a system. Now, in life, what do we honor truly? We honor understanding. When you see somebody in front of you that just understands something better than you, we care for that which can get us closer to the greater. So these acknowledgements that compose the value of this moment, it's like, okay, I've logged into this world the moment I woke up, and right now I'm here. And so as I am inside this simulation, one important thing is to be like, okay, there is a system admin here. My ego cannot act like God when I am in the presence of God. Since God is present all the time and God is sleepless, it means that the moment you open your eyes, the world is actually within a divine surveillance state. This divine surveillance state is so beautifully beyond human. That means if it's another form, there's something to that. It's beyond form. You see, you look at human beings, it's like a bunch of creatures in a box, and they're freaking out, and they're all trying to attach and lash, like hold on to something. Okay, but they don't realize that what's coordinating the moments is not just karma. Do you know, anybody who speaks about karma in front of me, a part of me is like, my God, like, wake up. Karma is not the point. Karma is just it's like consequence. That's not, like, we don't need to zoom in too much on that, because the result of the reality is not just based on what man does. It's interestingly in front of what it is in the presence of that he does this. Like, isn't it weird that, I'll give you an example. Isn't it weird that, let's say you have a bunch of like I don't know, National Geographic like experience, kind of like, I don't know, hunters or explorers or something. And imagine 5 explorers, they're going in the forest, and suddenly one of them notices that there's a snake right beside all of them. Now that snake is just passing by in the moment, oblivious to what's around him. but what's around him can affect the outcome of the snake. Do you understand? And human beings have an ability to shift the outcome of the moment by in being conscious that they can behave in different patterns than instinct. What instinct is in some sense, when you don't have an opinion and you're forced to do something, instinct kicks in. Deep down, be honest. Don't you want to see like how advanced your species can be? Don't you wonder about like what our role is? Like people adore like everything outside of themselves. What kind of world we're living in 2025? People inside feel less valuable than the world they see outside of them. And when that happens, you become attached to the world. You become enslaved to the world. But your value can't just be based on you. So you realize that in this life, there's a greater review and there's a greater feedback system. You see, like if you do something in front of a teacher, the teacher gives you feedback. Okay, but if you do something in the presence of the ultimate, the feedback is in some sense how much you were coordinated to the source code. But aside from being coordinated to the source code, this system is happening with either the conclusion that there's nothing behind the curtain, or that behind the curtain is the creator of the stage. And so the stage mankind is in is initially, or it's like what's important to the system admin is more important than how we are important to the system admin. Do you understand? So what I mean by this is that this, for us, for the system admin, all its creation is important. It's like telling an artist, which one of your paintings do you like? It's like, buddy, I liked it when I drew it in that moment. But aside from that, I mean, we should not humanize God. My whole point is to wonder about the relationship of an advance compared to every other physical species on the planet, the relationship of an advanced organism with the most advanced power directly, rather than going to the moderators, where the moderators behind the veil for all those spiritual people trying to be spiritual are actually not the admins. Not the admin. There's only one admin. We're all in a world right now. And every day you wake up, you look at things, and if you have an opinion on reality, that opinion is either based on the past, it's either based on something happening in the present, or it's something that may happen in the future. Who says the future can't be funny? Who says that reality has to just be in the domains of what man expects? Like, to be honest, I think every person at some point in the world, they're like, what do you expect from all of this? Like, I'm gonna make like one of the other lectures this, like title, like give a talk on this. What do you expect from all this? What do you expect from being a human in 2025? What do you expect from everything you've done in this life? And who is there to hold you to a higher standard? Now, human beings, like, you don't compare yourself to an alien. Do you understand? You don't compare yourself to anything of form. Don't do this. Let me tell you why. Because that which created this system is beyond the system. So we cannot attribute the simulated as divine. Do you understand? But we are within a divine surveillance state. God is here. It's present. We're being watched, like by the ultimate. And we are a species. We're conscious. The species communicates to itself. It communicates to lesser animals. And eventually it gets to a point where it needs to communicate to that which is itself. Do you understand? To me, a religious person is living a way more advanced life compared to somebody who's just like, flying like Superman, within the, enjoyment of the world. Because I'm telling you, it's the task at hand. I don't know what it means to be a man, but I have this feeling, like it's just automatic, that, hey, if I care for myself, then I must care for my world. If I must care for the world, I must care for my species' output. And the only thing that affects the output is what's being input into it. It's like when you look at a narcissist, you're looking at a system that has no input but endless output. That means a person has to notice that which is beyond themselves, or you're going to feel like you're just in one room. Like, I'm talking about the advancement of our species. I mean, you tell me what's more exciting to talk about. Oh my God, this Gatorade is incredible. Okay, so folks, my phone battery has an issue. I'm going to end the talk here. Thank you for listening. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most benevolent, the most merciful. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. In the name of God, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. All praise due to the Lord of the worlds. Rabbi Fairly, may God forgive us for that which we're conscious of and that which we're not. A'udhu billah shaitan rajim. May God protect us from the cursed one and from ignorance. Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. May God guide us to the direct path. Thank you.